the invasion of the Soviet Union, codename Operation Barbarossa. Following the German conquest of France at the start of World War II, Hitler mobilizes the greatest military force ever assembled and invades the Soviet Union, leading to the biggest tank battle in history.
This would have been a scene from hell. Burning tanks, dying men. Warfare on the Eastern Front was brutal, and no more so than here.
After years of bloody battle, German firepower isn't enough to overcome the harsh conditions and lack of supplies. The Soviet army takes the advantage.
What is about to be unleashed is the storm from hell.
This is the story of Germany's rise and fall on the Eastern Front, and the collapse of a brutal war machine. These are the secrets of the Nazi megastructures. Remnants of Hitler's war against Russia still litter Eastern Europe. No more so than in Sevastopol, Crimea. Conflict archaeologist Professor Tony Pollard has traveled to the shores of the Black Sea to discover just what the German troops fighting here were up against.
Take a look at that. Gun battery on a rocky outcrop overlooking Balaclava Bay, covering the entire area, the Black Sea over there. I can see 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 gun pits. Here's the first of these pits. A circular feature, chambers to the side, going underground. But look, oh, this is great. Get in here. This still has a mount in it, so we've got this heavy iron ring, nuts and bolts to attach the guns to. And this gives us some idea of the adaptability of these guns. They were designed to fire out to sea to protect the harbour, but they could be turned inland. And that's what happens during World War II when the Germans are attacking Sevastopol to the north. And it's fortifications like this that will lead to one of the biggest concentrations of firepower in all of history.
The story of the Nazis' war in the East begins in July 1940. Germany had already invaded Poland, and their blitzkrieg had swept west, conquering France and forcing the British back across the Channel at Dunkirk. Hitler wanted England next, but dogged defense in the Battle of Britain forced him to delay his invasion plans. Undaunted, Hitler turns his sights to Russia. This is a moment he's dreamed of for years. He believes the Soviet's Communist Party is a political arm of the Jews, who he regards as a plague, intent on world domination.
He sort of pummeled them together as one combined ill, spreading their tentacles and kind of infiltrating every part of the world. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And yet the war in the East, unlike the war in the West, is driven by this ideology. Nazi Germany has to rid the world of both communism and Judaism. That is his mission.
Hitler plans to turn conquered Soviet territory into living space for his superior Aryan people, part of a vast Nazi empire. He and Soviet leader Stalin had agreed a non-aggression pact before the war, but Hitler had no intention of sticking to it. As soon as he'd invaded Poland in 1939, he ordered that it become a staging ground for future operations, a first step towards the invasion of Russia. Former Army Captain Dr. Patrick Bury has traveled to northeast Poland to explore a place where the German army practiced for the invasion of Russia.
I know exactly what this is. Looks a bit like a bridge, 2 huge arches, but in fact, this is a bullet catcher for a rifle and machine gun range.
This rifle range is part of a vast, secretive Wehrmacht training ground known as Stablak.
You got the sand here, which catches the spent bullets. And all this will be clad with wood to stop the ricochet. And you can see here, they clad the arch because you do not want the bullets ricocheting off that arch and down into here. Because right here is where you'd have the range wardens who are manning the targets. And they would have been lifting up wooden targets, and then the troops down there would be getting rounds down the range,